Hey, it's Heike, and I wanted to jump in really quickly to tell you about the Spark Breakthrough Calls. If you're ready to cut through the confusion and challenges in your health, fitness, and nutrition journey, and if you are fed up with those cookie cutter fixes that never seem to get your result, and you're looking for clear, tailored guidance on your wellness journey, then the 20-minute Spark Breakthrough Call is for you. This 20-minute call is designed specifically for women in midlife that are serious about reclaiming their energy, vitality, confidence, and thrive. Together, we'll bring your health and wellness goals into sharp focus. It's about turning your dreams into plans. We'll shine a light on the obstacles that have been slowing you down. Knowing is half the battle, right? I'll give you one solid action step that you can take immediately after our call. It's all about small moves that make big waves. So, are you ready to make a real shift in your wellness journey? Then let's discover how you can overcome your challenges and take a decisive step forward. The link to book the call will be in the show notes. So don't wait any longer for the results that you want. Book your call now. Have you ever said, "Oh my God, there's so much clutter in my life," whether it's the shoes, the makeup, the pantry, or office drawers, and you have no idea how to get organized and get that space so it feels great for you and your life? Hi, I'm Heike Yates. I'm the host of the Pursue Your Spark podcast, and I got the answer for you today. I'm thrilled to introduce a special guest who's not just a master of tidiness, but a true royalty in the realm of decluttering, the one and only Janet Taylor, affectionately known as the Clutter Free Queen. Janet isn't just an expert, she's a legend in the world of organization. She began her journey with Totally Organized in 1994, and since then, she's been transforming spaces and lives with her extraordinary organization skills. You might recognize her as the Clutter Free Queen from her appearance on the Rachael Ray Show, a title well earned for her ability to conquer clutter. She's a beloved speaker, gracing events from IKEA to the Philadelphia Home Show, where her practical and transformative organization tips help everyone. Beyond that, Janet hosts and produces a chart-topping podcast, Gut Clutter, Get Organized, an invaluable resource for anyone seeking to declutter and organize their life. In addition to her hands-on work, Janet lends her insights to the advisory board for the business division at Pierce College. With over 26 years of experience in the organization industry, her approach has not only redefined spaces, but also the lives of her clients. So let's dive in and uncover the secrets to a clutter-free and organized life with the extraordinary Janet Taylor. Ready to get unstuck and recharge your midlife? It's Heike Yates here with the Pursue Your Spark podcast, your spot for a straightforward talk on fitness, nutrition, and a can-do mindset. With over a decade of experience, I specialize in empowering women in midlife to break through limiting beliefs and thrive. We'll dive into everything important for women in midlife, from conquering menopause to fine-tuning your metabolism and letting go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. So are you ready to say, "Yes, I can"? Tune in and discover actionable steps that make midlife feel better than ever. This is the Pursue Your Spark podcast. Hello, everybody, and I'd love to welcome my friend Janet Taylor to the show. Welcome, Janet. So excited to have you here.
I am super excited to be here with you. I can't wait to start just having our conversation.
It's a conversation that's dear to my heart, which is always organization. But I want you to know also that Janet just interviewed me on her podcast, and we leave a link in the show notes, so you definitely will find her show as well. Gut Clutter, Get Organized. That's the title of her podcast. And so you can catch up on our interview back then. So we're talking about getting organized. But I want to know first from Janet, what does it mean for you to stay healthy?
For me to stay healthy, it means that I am eating right. I am actually drinking the water I should be drinking. But also for me, it means that, I'm able to walk up and down the steps without losing my breath. I mean, I think that's what drives me to really exercise, move, do whatever I need to do. Because recently, a friend, we were in her apartment, all of a sudden the fire alarms went off. She's on the 8th floor. Had to run down the steps. And it was really good knowing that, I wasn't like out of breath. And then after that, we took a little trot, got in the car, and we just went away until, everything was cleared up, which was fine. But that's what healthy means to me, being able to move.
Oh my God, I love that. So it's not the goal first is, I want to lose body fat. I want to lose weight. None of that.
No, because I had to realize, and of course, this is from just listening to your podcast, realize that, I am different. The Janet that was in her 20s is different than the Janet that's, just turned 60. So I need to be okay with that. And I need to know that, yes, my body it may be stronger because I'll, do some weightlifting, but it's not going back to that stomach that I had when I was 20 years old. And, do I really want to? I need to go back there. So no, it's not.
That's true, though. I mean, I always say too, how much work are you willing to put into it to have that look, to have that image that you can portray on social media, which is where we all are influenced from.
And you know what? And I'm glad you said that, because that's what I tell myself is like, Janet, you know what you would really have to do in order to get, that look again? No, I'm okay. I'm okay with it right now.
I hear you. But I found out that you have a secret, unusual hobby, which are indoor plants, if I'm correct.
Yes, that is so true. I think I have about 17 now. But, there was a time when I did not have a green thumb, and I just kept at it and kept at it, just like whatever we choose to do, health and fitness, organizing, I just kept at it. And now I have like 17 plants all over my home.
I love it, because we do have some listeners and followers that have a green thumb, that have like a little indoor garden because of the plants. And when I read this about you, I was like, oh, she fits right in with us. Loving plants. Is there a favorite plant you have?
I love the spider. I mean, they're all good. The spider plant is really nice because you just kind of see how it evolves. It may be little, but the next thing you know, the little baby starts showing up. And I like the spider plant because then I can kind of share it with others. Like I'll ask people, do you want a little baby? Do you want a spider plant? And so it kind of gets them interested in it as well.
Yeah, I got one from my neighbor down the street because they're like, I have all these babies. And I didn't have a spider plant at that point. So now I got one too. I love it.
Yeah, I love those. I love that. And I also like the aloe too, just because it's a beautiful plant, but also just in case, you can always use it for, different purposes, whether you just want to put it on your skin, burns, all that kind of stuff.
I love it. Now, since we're talking organization, we're leaving the plants by the side because I know they're well cared for and organized. How did you get into organization, Janet? Did it just come to you overnight? Was it like an epiphany, or did you say, oh my God, my house is a mess. I need to organize. So tell us.
So I guess it was kind of an epiphany moment. I was working for a job, which I loved. I was customer service, transportation for the seniors in the city that I live in. And unfortunately, that job ended because the contract ended. Another company took the contract over. But during that period, people were telling me how organized I was. And then I also saw an article about a woman who was actually going into businesses and sharing the benefits of organization with workers. And so that's how I got started. I was about ready to move out. But then, of course, with the layoff, I said, oh, Mom. And she was like, of course, I'm not going to kick you out of the house. And that was really a good transition because I was able to build my business while still living at home with her. So that's how I got started.
Uh-huh. And why is organization so important to you personally?
For me, it reduces my stress and it allows me to feel, just kind of that beautiful, wonderful, relaxed feeling when I come into my home, or even when I just go after a long day and I go into my bedroom. I can see the bed. I don't see piles everywhere. But then also it helps me stay on track of what I have, for example, in my pantry, so things don't expire. I mean, I saw some crazy statistics about how much food is just wasted. And a lot of times it could be just because, well, of course, the meal prep and planning and leftovers, but also those things that get kind of tucked in the cabinets, people forget them.
Oh my God, I just did that. And this is not about the pantry, but this is about the things that you have in your drawer for your hair. You did a reel on that. And I was like, oh my God, I have never looked into my drawer for my hair things. So I went into my drawer with my hair things and I was like, I never used that. I bought this once. Let's take all this stuff out. And I was like, I have all this room suddenly.
Yay. And it is, you live life and you just keep moving and moving and moving. And then of course, as women, we're constantly like changing our hair, especially, in those mid years, like anywhere from 20 to 40, you just change it constantly. But then you get to a place where, you know what? I like the way my hair is. I'm comfortable with it. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute, I got a comb from when my hair was like super short. Do I really want to keep that? So yes, that's why I said, toss it, go in there, get those hair accessories.
It's like right on your Toss It Tuesday. That's where it's right. I was like, oh, let's see what she's talking about today. And at first I felt guilty. I said, oh, I have never looked in there. My hair things.
But you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a grandmother, you have the business, and of course I know you're active in a community. So sometimes something like that, sometimes it just is not on the top of your radar. And that is just normal.
So how did someone to get started when you think about there's the woman who has a job, she's really busy, she comes home, whether the kids or not, doesn't matter. But it's like her priority is the job. And then she comes home and where does she start? Does she start organizing her business first or her home? What do you think? Where should this person get started?
Well, I always tell, professional women, business women, really just kind of look at your systems and your office and your business first, because that's where your income is generated. And just make sure those systems are making you productive, effective, efficient. There's no waste. And then once you do that and you get a system in place and feel comfortable with it, then you can move to the home and really just begin to start looking at things there. But I always like to tell people to first just kind of pause, just really kind of look and see what areas are causing you the most stress. Because yes, maybe, the office isn't causing you that much stress, but when you come home, you're tripping over all size shoes, there's book bags and everything else. And you're like, you know what? Maybe this would just kind of relieve some of that stress after a long day's work. So maybe you would focus on that. Or, it's the we go through the different New Year's, the seasons, birthdays, and we think, you know what, I'm going to, change my diet. I'm going to be healthier. So maybe that is something, an area. Maybe you just need to create a space where you can just do some stretches, do some yoga, or meditate, have some mindfulness moments. Or maybe it's like, you know what, there's a lot of stuff in that kitchen that I don't even use anymore. For me, it was those huge stone pans and they were heavy. And it was like, I'm not lifting these things in and out of the oven. So I knew somebody who was moving, who was young. You take them. They've never been used. Take them. So it's always just really first, yes, it's important for us to have those places where our income is generated, but what's causing you the most stress? Maybe you just want to come home and see the top of your bed. So maybe you need to focus there.
Yeah, I like that idea of focusing on what causes the most stress, because we want to remove what really stresses us out and start from there. Because if we keep the stressors in our life, let's say I go back to the office, now folders are probably outdated because a lot of people have laptops and they don't have any more folders. But even on your laptop, you have a lot of app that we just download and save and folders. And that's also could cause stress, because I know at one point, a friend of mine looked at my desktop and she almost fainted. And I said, "What's wrong?" She says, "Why do you have all these folders on your desktop?" And I had to admit, I wouldn't find them if I didn't leave them there.
And and it's all about really creating a system that works for you.
Yeah.
And I tell people that when they talk about getting organized, oh, I saw so-and-so with this, and so-and-so, it's all about what works for you, because yes, that may work for them, but will that system work for you? And some people are very visual, so they need things out front and center. I've got wall calendar, I've got a whiteboard, and I've got a flip chart over here, just so I can stay on top of all the things that I have to manage. And when it comes to my business. So, just so think about that as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, you talk about project completion rituals. What is that and what are they?
It's basically making sure you finish something. So a lot of times when people start organizing, they're going from one room to the next, and it's really sometimes almost like multitasking. And it's really just kind of staying focused on one thing. So if you've decided, I'm going to do this closet, focus on the closet. I'm not going to tell you to do the entire closet in a weekend, but maybe just start by taking all the things out that you don't wear and don't want to wear, and then continue on until you're finished. And once you're finished, then you actually move on to the next thing. And sometimes a completion could just be when you come home, putting things away, or even when you use something, putting something away, because just doing that will help you reduce the piles and the clutters as well.
Why do you think people tend not to do that? Because to me, well, I'm German, I always say. I'm very organized. And when people come to our house, they say, wow, it's all so nice and organized and it's so clean. But for me, it's a natural. Maybe I was raised. My mom's always, when you take something out, you put it back where you found it. You don't leave it out until later. So why do you have any idea why people may do that?
I think sometimes people just don't think, they feel that they have a time. They feel like, okay, I'm just in a, and they're also thinking about the next thing. So sometimes it's just, okay, I just gonna slow down. I'm going to put the pen back. I'm going to put the scissors back. I'm going to, the keys go on the hook. I'm going to put the keys there, or I'm going to just hang up the coop. Because that's like almost a ripple effect, specifically if you're talking about putting things back, and especially when there's other people in the household, then that can just, really make it more, harmonious in the household, because people are like, where's the scissors? Where's this? Where's that? But it's just taking those few seconds, and just when you finish whatever, you put it back.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I remember my husband saying, honey, where are the scissors? I'm like, where you left them the last time. And if you left them, put them back where you left them the last time you can find them. And then he's like, you're such a smart ass. I'm like, no, it's organization.
And that's true. It's true. And it makes it less stressful too, because it's about finding things the first time you look. So if you put the scissors in a drawer, that's where they are. Yeah. Or the screwdriver, or et cetera, the coat in the closet.
Oh, I love it. Now, is there one organization principle that you think is overlooked but can make a significant difference in managing your day?
I think the planning. I think we take planning for granted. Statistics shows that if we just spend about 15 minutes the night before planning for the next day, we could save ourselves up to an hour. And that planning, okay, you're going to lay your shoes out, your outfit, know where your keys are, maybe have in mind what tomorrow's meal is going to be. Because then what happens is, if you rush out the door, come back, okay, everything is frozen and you're trying to figure out, next thing you know, you're going to do some takeout, which maybe your budget can handle it, maybe it can't. So yeah, sometimes just doing that planning. And even with an organizing project, I always tell people, pause, plan, purge, and then move forward. Because a lot of times with projects, we just dig in, just breathe and just plan it out. What do you need? What do you want to accomplish? And then, of course, purging, getting rid of everything.
It's the 3 Ps.
Yes.
Pause, plan, and purge.
Mm-hmm.
The 3P method.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can remember that. PPP.
Yes, that's right.
Pause,
That's true.
pause, plan, and purge.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because statistics says 80% of the stuff we keep, we never reference again. And we were 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. So we're always grabbing the same sneakers, jacket, pocket handbag, tote bag, you name it.
Raising my hand here virtually. Yes, I do that too. And for some reason, when I do my laundry, I do the things that I just washed underneath the ones I haven't worn. But for today's interview, I got my orange pullover out because I really like it. And it was not on the top pile.
And that happens sometimes. And actually, I know someone who would always, if she wore something, once she wore, she would always put it in the back of the closet just to keep things, because she said, I'm going to make sure I wear everything that I've invested my money in. And that's a good idea.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart. Because at Pursue Your Spark, we have a similar idea of when we're, like you talk about the planning, putting things together in order to get to exercise. And when people say, I don't have enough time to exercise, here's one of our steps at the Spark where we say, okay, plan. At the P in the Spark, where we say plan, put out your clothes the day before, plan your meal ahead, do whatever you need to do to create consistency in your habits and in achieving the goals for your health. So it's very similar than your PPP.
And it is because I put my little outfits out, and also I have like a calendar on my refrigerator, and I mark what days I'm going to do what. Because of course I listen to your podcast, so I'll walk, or then I may be inside doing some exercising. So I kind of rotate my schedule according to like what I'll be doing, if I'll be doing work from home or if I'll be out, how I can, but I definitely do that. And like you said, and then also my coach, what she motivated herself. She basically takes a shower at night, throws on her clothes, her little workout outfit, and then she just because she said that's what keeps her. She said she has no excuse of getting up and going to the gym at 5:00 in the morning. So, like you said, what works? Planning.
Amen. So it is important to create a daily routine, which we're just talking about, instead of leaving it up to chance, even especially when it comes to, in our case, that we are organizing.
Yes. And part of what you do, it surprises me that people are still not doing lunches and breaks. They're just working through. And I'm like, you have to plan that. I said, just like you plan all the other things in life, you plan it, because then that helps you in overall health and well-being, because we're in front of these screens all day long. Your eyes need a break. You need a water break. You need to, put some nutrients in your body. But yeah, you got to plan and plan even your organizing. If you spend an hour a week organizing, that's 52 hours within a year's time.
Yeah. Does that tie in with creating a weekly blueprint that you also talk about?
So the weekly blueprint is also part of planning. And basically once a week, I sit down with Janet, because it's just me, and I plan out my week. I already know when I'll have my clients, so I'll know that and what my schedule will be like. And I plan everything around that. So, okay, when can I do grocery shopping? Because I still go to the grocery store. When can I do that? When can I do laundry? When can I do cleaning? And then there's other things that I want to do. Maybe I want to hang out with a friend, and also making sure my exercise is in there. And that is my blueprint for the coming week. So I feel like I'm doing what I need to do for myself, for my business, but also to maintain my home. The reason I started doing that was because I grew up in a household where my mother did everything on a Saturday. She worked during the week and she did everything. She cooked, she cleaned. We went to, back then it was Woolworths in the 5 and 10, but we did all of that on this. And I'm like, I don't want to do that on a Saturday. I don't. So that's why. And I just get my schedule. And I tell people, when you're in a family, everybody needs to sit down And who's going to be, maybe at a practice, maybe there's, an upcoming performance, maybe somebody's going to school at night, and you just kind of plan. And then also with the health aspect, I always have Saturday as my meal prep day. Always Saturday morning. So that way during the week, like after this interview, I just have to heat something up, but it's something healthy. It's not that, I'm tired. Oh, I got to eat. Okay, let me see what I can order. And it's wound up being unhealthy.
Yeah, I like the blueprint idea too. Because I think when we look at our life as a business. Hey, it's Heike, and I wanted to share something super cool with you. If you've been wondering about trying out Pilates and intermittent fasting, I have the course for you. Have you heard of the Fasted and Fit Over 50 Jumpstart? I created this non-intimidating course for women over 50 and 60 that want to start feeling stronger, healthier, without another diet or exercise program that doesn't fit their lifestyle or health goals. The Fasted and Fit Over 50 Jumpstart is a 14-video self-paced course. This is for you if you are new to Pilates and have never tried intermittent fasting, but you're curious if it's for you. No equipment is needed or any food to buy. Why not jumpstart your health and strength today? Go to heikeyates.com and get started. You wouldn't leave it up to chance in the office to say, oh, let's see, maybe we meet here, maybe we meet then, and maybe we can complete this project whenever. There's a similar deadlines that I think can easily transfer into maybe not as strict, but definitely structured, I think. That's a good help for, I would think, a good help for many people to be less stressed, to be more successful in their fitness, their health, and they're in a peaceful environment.
And it really helps me because years ago, I was about ready to speak, and it was at one of those little, it was like a health fair, but they were going to have workshops. I was talking and joking with the person who was the coordinator, and I decided to go over and get my blood pressure checked. I'm like, I'm here. Might as well get it done. Well, after the third time, they said, Janet, we need you to sit down. I didn't realize my blood pressure was 200 over 100 and something. I was just, basically they said, you need to have somebody take you to the hospital right now. And that made me really look at my diet, but also how I was taking care of myself. So that's why I make it a priority Saturday mornings. Now, sometimes I do have to travel and go, work with a client on Saturday. So then I'll say, okay, I can either do a Friday morning or I can do a Sunday morning, but meal planning is done and also my exercising is done. So that's how it kind of helps me really live that healthy life, healthy and organized too.
Yeah. Are there any common myth around organization that people say, oh, I can't get organized because, or excuses or whatever you want to call them?
I think one big myth is organizing is the same as being neat. And neat, and I'm sure you know somebody who is probably super neat, but they really can't find things the first time. Whereas it's probably somebody who's not as neat as you think they, thought they were, but you ask them for something, they can put their hands on it. So organization really means being able to find something the first time you look. Another myth, sometimes people think, oh, people have to be born organized. No, there are people who have not been organized, who have become organized, and now they're teaching people how to be organized. So those are like a couple. Oh, and another one is that you have to throw everything out. And just basically, you got to throw, you know what? Janet's coming to my house and she's just going to make us throw. No, I do not. I feel that you need to have a place for everything and everything in its place. I have these yellow gloves that come up to my elbow that belong to my mother. Now, granted, I don't necessarily need them. I don't even think I'll wear them. Maybe I will. But I have a place in the drawer with the rest of my jewelry, and I just want to keep them. So, yes, those are the myths. You have to be neat and organizing is the same. You have to be born organized, and then also, you have to just get rid of everything and just have a chair, a spoon, and maybe a pillow.
Which brings me to the next question is like, how has the concept of minimalism impacted traditional organization methods? And what do you think about it?
I think minimalism is great because it adds structure for some people. It allows some people, specifically when it comes to the closets, it allows them to really focus more on what they need and not necessarily all the things that they want. But then also sometimes people feel like it's too hard to achieve. And like anything, it's just something that you gradually move into. Okay, maybe this week you get rid of a couple pieces, but then, a few years down the line, you realize, all of those suits that you were wearing, you no longer need them because that's not who you are. So there's a wonderful thing because it does really help people really think about, do I really need this in my life? So, and it's interesting. It's a lot of younger people are actually looking at minimalism. And of course, because the trend now with a lot of these development and these apartments are getting smaller.
Yes.
So people need to really figure out, what do I really truly need?
Yeah. So my daughter is a minimalist and she's very organized.
Okay.
And she always, when it comes around to birthdays, and she says, I don't need stuff. Don't buy me anything. And so she just recently purchased her first home in Baltimore, which is near Washington, D.C., for those of you who don't know where the heck Baltimore is. And so she bought herself a row house. I'm super proud of her that she bought it by herself. It was already renovated and it's super cute. And she didn't have any tools. So we thought it would be a great gift for her to buy her a drill and screwdriver and the whole manly pack that you need when you live by yourself and you have to fix things.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to her house and we said, here, you might want to check out the drill and do all this, and you check out the tools because you need to know how to use them. And she was confused. And she thought they were our tools. And we said, no, they're your tools. She was so happy for one of the first times that we actually got her something that was practical, that she needed. She hadn't asked for it. And we just didn't give her stuff because we wanted to get her stuff as a housewarming gift, like a vase or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so yesterday she sent a picture of her having hung up her own blinds in her bedroom by herself.
Wonderful.
With the ladder she got from her brother for Christmas, which she huffed and puffed about at first. And, and
wonderful.
The toolkit. So there was something that she wanted, but she's very adamant about stuff that she doesn't need. And she's truly the person she buys a new skirt, she gives one away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Yeah, because like you bring something in your home, think about getting rid of something. And I think we do need to be more practical, and gift giving. A lot of times experiences are now a big thing instead of just the physical gift, giving people experiences from a museum to a trip to etc. But I know when my godson decided, he told me, he said, oh, I'm moving. And I said, okay. I said, what do you need? He said, everything. And that gave me, it was almost like the green light. And I started actually going around my house and just looking at things. Like I had 2 sets of measuring cups. I don't need 2 sets. I don't do that much cooking. So I had a brand new set, put that aside. I had all these brand new things. It was like, if I really, truly need it, I'll get another one. But right now, I'm not using it. It's been here for a couple years. And they were so happy. They were really happy to get those things. And I think sometimes we need to just let go of a lot of the things. And one client shared with me that, how we have the good dishes, the everyday dishes. Yes. She got rid of the everyday dishes and started using the good dishes every day.
Because?
She just said because they're beautiful. And she didn't really have the space anymore. And she said, why am I holding on to all this? And sometimes it does. It takes a moment and you start thinking, why am I holding on to all this stuff? Am I using it?
I'm the kind of person who buys something new, takes the tag off, hangs it in the closet, and then wears it at a good moment. That's something I inherited from my mom. This is like the Sunday clothes you only wear on Sunday, like in the olden days. And I have these clothes, and I really have to make myself wear them. I said, okay, today is the day where I put this cute dress on, even though I'm not going anywhere. I'm just at home doing Zoom calls or whatever it is I'm doing. But I think we are so attached emotionally oftentimes when we have this thing. So why did you have 2 sets of measuring cups?
I know I bought one and one was given to me. So I was able to give that one away. And it was like, like you said, you just get things, you put them in a drawer. And then I just started looking because I'm like, okay, he needs things. I know I have stuff in my house that I'm not using. Let me see what I can give him.
Yeah.
And it was it. And it felt good. It felt really good. Granted, I was trying to recruit other people. I'm like, look, I know how much stuff you have in your house. Are you ready to get rid of some of it? Because he can use everything. So.
There you go. I think when we talked about in this episode today about the minimalism, the decluttering our space, but mostly organizing our space and how good it can feel, and that we don't have to feel guilty about giving things away, wearing things in my case, but enjoying the things we have and take whatever is not needed. Because we're not going to use the second measuring cup set anytime soon because the first one is working perfectly fine. Is I think many women grapple with that. I can't let go of this. What do you think?
And they do. And a lot of times I hear women who are saying, oh, I've invested so much money into this piece of clothing. And yes, you have, but also sometimes it's about the feeling, the gratification of actually giving it to someone who may be just having a fresh start. And that's what I try to share with people who are just thinking about getting rid of things. There's somebody out there, recently I had these lamps that were just sitting here looking at me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put a little sign on and say, I'm working, put them outside. And I'm like, you know what? I want you to go to a good home. And it was like within less 30 minutes, somebody had come by and taken them. And it's really about allowing somebody else to feel the joy that you may have felt because you're not going to wear it. It's just going to sit in your closet, taking up valuable real estate. So allow it to have a new life. Allow it to have a new home. Allow it to be a new beginning for someone.
We want to remind you that the Pursue Your Spark podcast is on vacation in the month of August. We have taken off August for years now, and we continue to do so this year as well. This will give you a chance to catch up on episodes that you might have missed or didn't have time to listen to. And we will be back with fresh and new content for you, with you, on Thursday, September 5th. So we can't wait to connect with you then. Yeah. Are there any apps that you can recommend for organizing and productivity?
The only app that I really recommend is called Evernote. And I recommend Evernote is because it is like a notebooks. Because, we all have notebooks, we have journals, we write all kinds of things in there. But Evernote allows you to have as many virtual notebooks and journals, and then you can find things a lot easier. So that's the one that I really do, because even with apps, we can sometimes just have too many apps on our phone. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm there.
So, Janet, if you had one superpower, what would it be, and what could you do with it?
Wow, one superpower.
One superpower.
I think being able to just give things a new home. Going into looking, those clothes and giving them a new home.
I like that. That's a good superpower. Now, with that, I also want you to tell our listeners where they can reach you, and you also have a free giveaway for them. So please tell us all about that, Janet.
Yes, you can reach me at my website, which is janetmtaylor.com. And when you go, there is a nice little free ebook. It's like a clutter-free life ebook. It's just about maybe 14 tips that you can do in 15 minutes or less to live an organized life.
I love it. And I want you to also know, guys, that it's Janet M. Taylor, because there are a lot of Janet Taylors out there. And when I researched a little bit about Janet, I was like, that's not the Janet I'm looking for. So it's M in the middle, which stands for Maria, Martha? Marie.
Yes, Marie.
Janet Marie Taylor. So don't forget the M. If you can't find her, it's M in the middle. And with that, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and telling us all about organization, helping our listeners to be more organized, be happier, be healthier, and be less stressed.
I had such a wonderful time here today. Thank you so much for allowing me just to, share some wisdom with your listeners.
I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me today in this episode, and we'll leave all the links to reach Janet and her freebie in the show notes. But we also want to know how this episode resonated with you. Please reach out to us and send an email to heike@heikeyates.com with the subject line clutter. Let us know how the episode resonated. Let us know how we can help you be healthier, happier, and less stressed with less clutter and more organization. Until next time on the Pursue Your Spark podcast, I'll see you soon. Ciao.